Hey, what's up, it's Rashad? Antonio, MCU Collective, X-Men 97, episode number 7.
Bright Eyes.
All spoilers, got to talk about a thing to talk about the thing. And just off jump, like,
By the way, we haven't talked about this at
not
all.
at all. Not
Mm.
at all. I watched this twice, well, like two, like 1.5 times. Shout out to everybody who's doing this. I mean, just as a, I mean,
As a collective.
yes, MC
No pun
Collective.
intended.
Pun
No pun
intended, yo.
intended.
Yes, yes. We deserve that pun.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you, man. Like you guys are really. It's just something almost magical about this series. Like, and I hate to I don't want to hyperbolize because I don't really live in that space. I don't be
Mm-hmm.
hyping nothing up. But this right here, this is really doing it for me on
Mm-hmm.
so many levels. And I just want to share just my token of gratitude and my appreciation just to the art. You know what I'm saying?
As they say in church, I come to you as humbly as I come to you, Lord, as humbly as I can.
And speaking of church, we have a funeral. It's not funny. This is actually a real sad scene, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Pass,
and it was
pass a
done.
night, pass a Nightcrawler. You
Yeah,
talking about
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
good Reverend Doctor Pass a Nightcrawler?
We got Bishop Nightcrawler coming here with his best. I mean, like this eulogy was so fire. He said, you know what? I'm gonna really encapsulate all the things about my friend and actually use it. And then was telling like, oh, I love a sermon where the person is actually giving us all the negatives. And you'd be like, yo, like where's the hope in this? You know what I'm saying? And
Uh-huh.
then they pivot real hard and make you
Mm-hmm.
see like, okay, this is where the hope is actually at, and all of this. That's
Mm-hmm.
what Nightcrawler did, because Nightcrawler was giving us all these puns about cards, and he had the odds against him, yada yada. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, man, but all of that, my dear brothers and sisters, it was a bluff. It was a
Was a
bluff.
bluff.
I
Yep.
said, "Oh, yeah, it was perfect."
And shout out to they brought back the old from oh god, the thieving guild. His some of his
Yeah,
members of his thieving guild was even there. He made mention of that, saying, he won't nothing but a lonely swamp criminal. I said, God dang, Nightcrawler. And he looked at them, but he was like, but our Gambit, he always played the odds, baby. And I mean, it was such a good that scene was a sad scene, first of all. Very sad. You see them all dressed in black. They got the little almost third what the 100 by something 100 picture of Gambit, right? You know what I'm saying, right there. And you just like, man, and you see the grief that they're all like. Wolverine, his grief was the one that like kind of maybe affected me more than the rest of them, because Wolverine just had that look like, I am so tired of seeing people die in front of my mouth.
for real,
You
yo.
saw the like he won't even crying. He was just like,
It was almost like
I'm
he
just
was like aloof or like just like numb to
yeah,
it. You know what I'm
like I'm
saying?
so tired of seeing people I care about. Almost kind of like, man, I wish I would just die so I don't have to feel this no more. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He didn't say a word. He didn't show no emotion. He stayed in the same position, and that position was just like it was. It was a position of, man, I am over this. I'm just done.
And you know what was good too? Like even after it was over and Jubilee was
Uh-huh.
like, yo, where Rogue at? She should be here.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, man, everybody grieves in their own way. And those small inclusions of things, man. Like I was like, man, like yo, like the kids, like the 7 to 10 to 12, 14-year-old kids watching this as kids, when they grow up and watch this, it's gonna make so much more sense to them because it was for real. It's the realest scene out of this whole thing.
personal touch for me. I think we brought this up before on the show, if not. 2 years ago, my mother passed away, and it inside tore me in pieces or whatever. And when he said that, Wolverine said that, it made me think of what this guy that I met when I first moved up here to Maryland, and he kind of like looked out for me and stuff like that. And when my mother had passed away, he called me, he talked to me, and it reminded me of what he told me when Wolverine made that comment. He was like, he says, "You grieve how you need to grieve, and then number two, don't let nobody tell you how to grieve." And when Wolverine, in this said that to Jubilee, I had to pause it and say, damn,
Mm-hmm.
that hit home to me because I
Yeah.
felt that, and someone else told me the same thing that happened almost literally about to be 2 year anniversary of mother passing away, and someone told me that. So I just wanted to say that when he said that, I felt that, and that kind of hit home to me, and yeah, I really
Mm-hmm.
felt that. Mm.
Yeah. Very, very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
But guess how your girl was grieving?
Yo, let me explain something to you. Rogue went on the rampage, Jack. She need to change her name to Rampage, yo. This
Rogue
girl
Jackson.
got like, yo, straight up.
Rogue Rampage Jackson.
Rogue Rampage Jackson, yo. Shout out to Rampage Jackson, one of my favorite MMA fighters of all. My God, you see her flying across at maximum speed. She was like picking up bursts of speed, and I was like, yo, like, what? And she just had a look at her. Hey, man, what they say, Rashad, hell have no fury like a woman scorned or in
Yes,
pain.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, she flew, and she was like in a desert, and I was like, where the hell is she at? And I said, oh, snap, maybe she's gonna go to that spot where they last fought, you know what I'm saying, the Sentinels in the first episode, and she was gonna try to find something there. Oh no, she went to a secret military base, and she was there gonna wreck and shop on those military, destroying them tanks, them US. You know how it's US. The US government. We love our military. We spend the most money than I think the next 10 countries combined. You know, you know what I'm saying, on the
Oh yeah,
military in the
definitely.
world. Man, she was destroying them tanks. And who do we see? We see a shot inside the base. We see good old Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, he was
Thunderbolt
like,
Ross
man, we
was sitting
not
there
what
like,
we worried about.
my
This
man was
thing
like,
is
hey, yo, he's like, man, we contained the Hulk here. I ain't worried about her. Boom!
man. Hey,
She opened
Rogue
up
said,
that.
what y'all
She
doing,
peeled.
man?
She
What
peeled.
are y'all doing?
She peeled the muffin cap back blue. She ripped that. Peeled the muffin cap back blue. She peeled the cap back, and she came in and said, "My daddy always said it's easy." They said to break into a jail. Was it to break in or to
Yeah,
get
break
out?
in is the breakout.
Break in and break out. And Thunderbolt Ross was like, oh, snap. And she yoked that man up and said, yo, you need to tell me right now, where is Gyrick? And
And Bolivar Trask.
and Bolivar Trask, where they at right now? So since the massacre at Genosha, the U.S. government was like, yeah, we need to move these people. But somehow the U.S. government is involved somehow, and they move Bolivar Trask, and they move Gyrick out. But Bolivar Trask, we already know what happened to him. But they lost track of him. But Gyrick was gone, and he was like, "Hey, girl." Thunderbolt Ross was like, "Hey, girl, you don't know nothing. I don't even know nothing about this. This is like above me. Where I don't even have this type of clearance or whatever for what you trying to do here." And she's like, "Well, you need to point me in the direction of the people that do know where this man is." And you're just talking about Rogue right now. This chick then proceeds to find out what Garrick is. He's like, "Is he in Mexico?"
Nah, because she goes to see your boy first, right?
Who?
She wants to go. She wants to pay a visit to Captain America first, right?
Yes. So she finds Captain America is like somewhere in the snow. Like I guess we'll say somewhere in the Rockies or something in the U.S. or whatever. And it's like snow around. It's like it's like a shack in the middle of nowhere. She lands, and Captain America gonna toss the shield out there, and she like, Cap, you gonna need more than this, baby. Where, where, where he at? Where they at? I'm right. She like,
Tony,
hey, looking.
Tony. She said, I wonder what America's top cop is doing out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, when she said, she called him America's top cop. What are you doing out?
Top cop.
Oh, that man, top flight security. She basically called
that top
flight. U.S. top flight security. And Captain America was like, hey, yo, back up. Like, relax. I don't know where they're at either. You know, hey, I came out here because I knew there was a base with some people that knew, you know, saying that know where he's properly at. And they go inside a little shack, and of course there's a secret compartment, and they go to an underground base. And she's like, looks like they skedaddled before you got here. He was like, well, look, I was able to hack into the mainframe, and I think I found out where. He says, I don't know about Trask, but I think I found out what Garrick is or whatever. And she's like, well, tell me. And she's like, I don't even really know for real, for real like that.
I gotta do this by the books, big dog.
She said, right. And she was like, well, look, we know where he at. We gonna run. It was in Mexico. We gonna run up there in Mexico and get. And she's like, wait a minute, relax. I can't in this outfit go down to Mexico and just start wrecking shop. It's gonna cause a problem. I got to do this by the book. And she looked at him and was like, oh, so I thought you was down with us mutants and stuff. She's like, all right, bet you can't do this, but this is what you can do.
Hold on, Tony. She said, since your hands are tied.
Yeah, since your hands are tied. She basically was like, you won't
be needing this.
You won't be needing this. She proceeds to take his shield. She flies up in the sky and chucks that shit into the unknown regions. We don't even know. And you saw the look on his face like,
yo, I don't try to, I try not to blatantly curse. You know what I'm saying? But he got bitch so bad.
It was the
Tony.
You know that was reminiscent of, don't you? You know what it was reminiscent of in the what was it, the Falcon Winter Soldier show when fake Captain America got bitched by the Dora Milaje, and they sat there and he was like, they don't even have any superpowers. Well, guess what? Rogue had superpowers and she had time for Captain America. And the way that she stepped on the shield and flipped it up to herself like he normally do, and she chucked that thing, man, I was laughing so hard on that.
You know the instant thought about?
What's that?
Whoever thinks that the Avengers would win against the X-Men
lost their minds.
Is delusional.
Yeah, lost their minds.
Like she did that to their best and brightest. Literally.
Let's think about two things. Their best and brightest. Also on top of that, Thunderbolt Ross was just so sure that she won't gonna break in that base. Oh, we had the Hulk here. Yeah, you got a Hulk. We got a Rogue.
Yo, we got a Rogue. I'm so glad they put some respect on Rogue name, man. This episode had to let y'all know, like, look, yo, you been sidelining her, especially in the movies, but this girl is a beast. Yeah. No pun intended.
Anna Paquin is not my Rogue. I just want to say that right now,
bruh. Anyway,
yeah.
So she goes on, Mosey's on down to Mexico, and when I mean she rolls up on your boy.
Yeah, Garrick.
Garrick is like some sort of person who like studies insects. I forgot what they're called. And he's in the house.
Is it entomology or something like
I don't want
what?
to lie.
Yeah, something
so
like
so
that.
he's so he's there just chilling, just minding his business. Guards outside, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"That looks really weird. We're in this random place. Shouldn't be no armed guards out here." But really, especially like 90s, yeah, shouldn't be no guards out here.
Yeah.
So she goes in, turns him around. It's like, "Look, yo, I need some answers."
And where your boy Trask? No, remember before she even said she took out the guards and bust up in there. I don't know where Bolivar Trask is. He just straight up let her know. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna believe you. I need some answers." And he's like, "Look here,
Like,
they moved me here. I'm in this spot, you know." And she's like, "Who moved me?" He says, "I know what Trask." He says, "Well, possibly could be the people that did this, but I can't really say for sure."
so hey, I know some people in high places too.
Yeah. And people that always say that always end up getting daggone, getting right. And then he all like, "Hey, yeah. Yeah, you tell Jean Grey her little mind probe ain't gonna work on me this time." She said, "Oh, hold on, sugar. What makes you think? What makes you think Jean gonna have something to do with this?" She took that glove off. I said, "She about to drain this man's soul." And sure enough, she latched onto his face, was holding his face. It was my man said, "Ah!" He made
Stop
that's
it!
the sound he made. I said, "Oh,
Oh.
ah!" And she held on for a long time too, dude.
Because and here's the thing that I saw, and she was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Don't resist me." So
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if he got experimented on too, because he's just a
Mm-hmm.
regular human. You know what I'm saying? It should have been
Mm-hmm.
like that, but
Mm-hmm.
then
You
takes
saw
her
in the
power,
flash.
and then she gets a vision. You know what I'm
You
saying?
saw you saw him, right?
Yeah,
Or did Nimrod? You saw Nimrod. Right? It was
yeah. It
Nimrod. It
was
was
it was it's like quick
a quick.
Nimrod,
Mm-hmm.
Gambit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Was it some rats? What's more rats this
Yeah,
time as
so
well? Yeah,
that was
so
with Gene.
that
That
was with
was with
Gene. Yeah,
Gene.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So it was because they had this like kind of duality thing going on with the vision.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
so that was going on basically at the same time, and
yeah,
he was like, "Bro, like I don't know what else you want from me, yo. Like I ain't got nothing for you." And
yeah,
it just was interesting just to see that whole thing, and even her having this kind of like this vision as well, which I was like was not expecting that.
yeah. And so, and I guess the vision he saw was that, and then later on you see Gyrick is like in a hospital bed, like recovering, and you see a figure just talking to him, like, and he's
Yeah.
like, your plan worked just as you said it would. He's like, yeah. Then he said something to him to the effect of something
It's
like,
like you almost messed my plan up.
yeah, you almost messed my plan up. He was like, but I didn't. And he was like, well, yeah. And you saw Garrett, which was a loose end, get tied up. This person basically smothered him to death. And you saw him die. And you saw him struggling to get air. The guy just basically covered up his mouth. And the whole time I was like, who the hell is this? I said, is this Magneto? It looked like Magneto a little bit,
I
but
was
it
like, nah, it
wasn't.
ain't
It
Magneto.
ain't
Like,
Magneto. And
so
so
who
they
was
killed.
this?
And so Gyrick is rigor mortis, dead, gone. So that's the rogue arc of this episode or whatever. Mind you, this is all the same, but we just wanted to go through Rogue.
Yeah,
But
yeah, because
Rogue,
that
Rogue,
road was like in full
she was
beast
on
mode.
one,
You know,
right?
so back at the
X-Men.
mansion, everybody's grieving, you know what I'm saying? And your boy Cyclops is talking to the president. And the president is like, "Hey, it's me, your boy. Like, I'm so sad about what happened." He's like, "Man, we need some help. We trying to go down there.
Yeah, they trying
So
to get relief. They trying to get relief,
we trying to get
which
some
is
funds."
which is so funny considering real world events, Rashad.
Oh yeah,
Right,
definitely.
right there with real world events, right there.
This is a very timely show.
Yes, very
So
timely.
and the president's like, "Hey, we really can't front facing show that we cool with y'all." You know what I'm saying? This is all kind of like, this is closed channels
Yeah,
conversations. He said, "Look, y'all can go down there and get your little relief effort, but we can't really be associated with y'all right now. The block is a little too hot.
yeah.
I'm about to be reelected. You know what I'm saying? Vote for your boy. So, but I
Mm-hmm.
need you to do what you do and make sure I get reelected so I can actually be
Yeah.
on your side. The other guy
Yeah.
hates y'all.
Yep.
Basically, the code is saying the other guy's a Republican. Y'all don't want Trump in office. Y'all want me. You know what I'm saying? The well-to-do Democrat. That's what
Mm-hmm.
y'all really want. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Cyclops is pissy mad.
What did he say? He said, so I guess if these were just regular humans, you guys will be all over it or
He,
whatever. But
he was
because
like, he's like,
it's mutants, you
oh,
can't be seen. He says, hey man, look,
hey, hey,
y'all
hey.
like you said, y'all are kind of hot right now. There are some people who are like really like horrified of you guys, or whatever. And when he said that in my mind, I'm like, y'all the ones that attacked them. Why are they horrified of them? But hey, what whatever, cuz that's all I got to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Whatever, cuz.
He hung on the phone, like little hologram call,
Yeah,
really mad. Gene walks
yeah.
in, and they're still talking, and he's so upset about basically everybody dying. Still broken heart about Madeline dying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And again,
Did she die? Did she die? We don't know. We
you
never
don't know. I
saw it.
mean, it seems like it.
Yeah,
And
and then to his kid too, Nate, his
oh yeah,
son
yeah,
Nate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nate,
sent off.
he's in the future.
Mm-hmm.
He's a future past guy. So they end up just everybody load up the jet, they head down to
Mm-hmm.
Madripoor, and they see the relief efforts going on. My bad. You got
Not
something else?
Madripoor.
I'm
You
not
said
damn, not
Madripoor.
Madripoor. That's a little bit later. Go to
Yeah.
Genosha. They go
Uh-huh.
to Genosha, and we see all the relief efforts there. We see a couple of recognizable mutants who are there
Strong
cleaning
guy
up.
from
Yeah,
X Force.
yeah. Some other ones I don't remember their names, but yeah, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of mutants still over there working. The lady from the television crew, for some reason, she's down in Genosha,
Mm-hmm.
and that lady actually had a relationship with Beast,
Mm-hmm.
like back in the day or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
she has a soft spot for him, and they're talking, and she brings up the one word that he was not trying to hear:
Tolerance.
tolerance. And he was like, "Oh, you mean kind of like that hit piece you done when you just imagine?" You know what I'm saying? He was Beast. Like he was definitely triggered.
That was the first pissed off. The first time we've ever seen him really pissed off about. He's always been the calming voice and the level-headed one. Besides, even with Charles Xavier has gone
Oh
level-headed.
no, no, because remember first season when he willingly went to jail so he can go on
Mm-hmm.
trial. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And Magneto was like, "Are you stupid? Get out of
Mm-hmm.
here! I don't
Yeah.
even like you like that."
Yeah.
And I'm telling you to leave. You gonna stay in here
He
to
bust a
have
hole
them
in that
try
man.
you?
He bust a hole in that man jail. He was like, "No, man, I'm good. I'm
He
good. Go
said,
ahead
"Man,
on."
get your goofy blue ass out of here. Let's go." I have to stay stand my trial. No. Magneto was like, "All right, y'all got to be the dumbest." But yeah,
Yeah.
so these piss him mad. The next part of this is
Oh,
very
dude.
interesting.
You see also too, you see they have a memorial. They took like the statue head of Magneto and the statue, shut up, the statue head of Magneto and Xavier made like a little memorial. And it seems as if the leader of the Morlocks is dead, Callisto.
Mm-hmm.
Because there
It's
was
a bunch of people
it was
that.
right, a bunch of people that are dead. Also, too, remember earlier when they got there, Beast met up with one of the doctors who was a Doctor Mutant, and she was saying how how like at first it was just so many injured and like they died from their injuries, and it really messed her head up. So we go to Scott and Jean at the, I guess, the headquarter building that we saw Magneto when he was there with the other people that was on the council, and to clear out some rubble because they wanted to make sure it won't no more survivors and stuff there. And this is the first time you actually see Jean and Cyclops kind of like talk about their situation or whatever. And you see Jean kind of like, yo, I know you loved her, and I know you love Nate, and I know you going through it. And he's pissed because he's like, this happened on my watch, and this ain't gonna happen no more. And from what I can tell, it seems like this is going to lead to showing Cyclops, where in the comic he becomes kind of like a rebel, you know what I'm saying, a rebel mutant type person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can see that this may come maybe later on,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah. The
not,
show is
but
definitely leading us down a path where he becomes sort of like disenfranchised
yeah, I about to
or
say that.
disillusioned by the
Yeah,
the
right,
Charles Xavierisms of his
right. Even Beast too said it. He was like, is Charles like? He was like, is Charles' vision just a dream for real or whatever? And then Beast even quoted Martin Luther King with, you know what I'm saying, about rioting. He said,
yeah.
rioting, you
Is
know,
is the
I
voice of
forgot
the unheard? Yeah.
the voice of the unheard, you know, Martin Luther King quote. So then all of a sudden, Jean, like, make the Jean sound that she always, ah, whatever. And she has like a little, she says, there's a psychic over here, and I just felt it, and they're moving stuff, and somebody's alive, and you see everyone screaming like, oh no, they said they found a survivor, and lo and behold, who is it? Good old the White Queen herself, Emma Frost. But Emma Frost has her second mutation kick in, I believe, because of this, because of the stress and the what happened in
Yeah, she was under duress. Yeah.
under duress. Her second mutation is in her diamond form. Didn't expect that on my X-Men 97 bingo card. Didn't think they was going to do that.
Nope.
And they whipped that out because that became a big part of her powers later on in the comics and stuff. And like Beast was like, wow. He says, she's never had this mutation before. And Emma Frost is kind of still holding on. She could talk a little bit. She was like, hey, I've always told y'all I can adapt. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a lot to take me out, and I can adapt. And you know, they take her away. And the next thing you know, you get a X-Men Return to the Blackbird. This Bolivar Trask.
Mm-hmm.
And so before they go, Jubilee is there with her boo thing, Sunspot. He's there helping out. And he's just kind of like, yo, this is so wild that this has gone down. I can't believe this happened here. And then Jubilee is like, yeah, like we almost came to this. And he was like, yeah, he was like, and then she starts talking about, yeah, my parents, my foster parents called me for the first time in what, 3 months or whatever to ask me, you know, saying, is a war coming or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or is everything gonna be okay? And she was just like kind of like over it, like over them all together. And then she asked him, hey, what about your mom? What your mom say? And he just looked at her and said, I'm on a ski trip in the Alps. And she's like, dude, you still ain't told her. And he basically, for all intents and purposes, is in the closet about being a mutant.
Definitely. That is the clear allegory here. You know what I'm
Yeah, he's in
saying?
the closet about being a mutant with his parents. And she's like, dude, you've got to tell them. And he's like, hey, don't pressure me to do this. And she was like, no, what happened if we were here and you died? Do you want your parents to what she said, do you want your parents to bury a stranger that they didn't even know their child
And he
or
was like,
whatever? And
would
then
you
she
come
was,
with me? You know what I'm saying?
you come with, right. I mean, you come with me. And she was like, you know, I'll be there. And then at this point, you see the X-Men are all in the jet, and Bolivar Trask reaches out to them and says, look here, yo, I ain't want things to go this far. I am sorry. He says, look,
My bad.
my bad, dog. I am sorry. I didn't. Sinister made me do it. It was him. It was all him. And they was like, yeah, was it something? I look, bro, I have no idea. It was Sinister. He made me do it. I did not want it to go this far. I'm sorry. Meet me in Madripoor, the building in Madripoor. The diet soda is always filled. He said, please help me. I'ma help y'all. Please
Help
help
me.
me. That's what he basically was like. Help me. Whatever. And then he said, I gotta go. And he goes, and then they're all sitting there looking like, man, this sounds like some bull or whatever. And you know, Wolverine was like, hey, it do, but we
Yeah,
gotta go
no
check
choice.
this out.
It is
We
what
gotta
it
go check.
is.
So
So they fly. Yeah, go ahead.
before that happens, we see how rich Sunspot really is.
Yo,
That
this
man
man
ain't rich.
rich.
He ain't rich. That man wealthy.
Yeah.
That man,
He is affluent. You know what I'm
he's
saying? Like
affluent.
he
They
comes
go
to
to
that
the
house.
skyrise. They go to that skyrise apartment, a skyrise penthouse thing. He had two butlers greet him at the door, and they was like, "Oh yes, your mother is in some room having a spritzer. It will be non-alcoholic for you and your friend here." And Jubilee was like, "Yeah, no wonder you act the way you do. Normal people don't live like no, normal people don't live." It gave the scene of like the rich kid who want to hide that they rich and they want to be in the trenches. ATL, the movie, by the way, with that they want to act like they from the trenches and yeah, I come for money, but not no money like that or whatnot. So he goes and she's talking to him and she's like, "All right, so how you want to play this? Small talk, and then go into and it cuts into him just walking in there. I'm a mutant, mom." She was like, "Oh, we could just go straight and direct to it like that." And the thing is, she was so like unbothered, poured her wine.
Tony,
Thank and she just said,
Tony.
"Thank God."
It was hilarious. She was like, "Boy, we knew you was gay when you was 3 years old." Like
Man,
that's
yo, I'm not trying to be listen. No disrespect to anybody
I
for the
mean, but that's what
LGBT.
again. That's the
This this
allegory for
this
this. Like,
allegory. This episode was a straight allegory to that. Like, boy, we knew. If he wasn't a mutant and he was a homosexual, it was basically, boy, we knew you was gay since you was 3 years old or whatever. That's what they basically
yeah.
told him.
But the funny part was, she's like, you've been in burned down 4 residences since you were 16. Like they
Yeah,
all can be Somali pirates. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Which is a
right.
callback from a few episodes ago. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah,
is just hilarious, man. Like I was like, man. But the funny part was, he said, "Hey, thank you for being honest with us. But what you're not gonna be is
it's
honest with the
honest with the
world."
world.
You know what I'm saying? We got some
Mhm.
money to be
Yeah.
protecting,
And she
and we
said
got a
stocks are down for people dealing with mutants. We we wealthy. We ain't losing this wealth because
look,
you
yo.
because excuse me, as Deathbird said, you got some freaky fluids in you, right?
Yeah. Influence.
Some freaky. Not gonna lose our wealth because you got freaky fluids in you, all right?
Oh,
And,
that's honey.
and Jubilee was like, "I beg your pardon, what?" And she was
She
like,
was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I know what this." Yeah, so again, another aspect I love is like, look, yo, even though this is gonna be the story about like being acceptance and all that, but
mm-hmm,
everybody ain't accepting of everything, and you're gonna have to
mm-hmm.
learn how to deal and navigate in a world where people will and will not accept you.
And it goes back to that word that triggered Beast.
Tolerance.
Tolerance.
There you go. Good job.
Tolerance.
Way to tie the theme all back in. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Favorite part of this
So
whole show, Madripoor. You see Madripoor in all his glory. Shout out to Madripoor. Like I love that crime city so much. I don't know.
yeah,
Just something about Madripoor. Even when they showed
Madripoor.
it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was like, yo, this
And
is a
also
dope
too in
place.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi as well. Like this is a
Yeah.
dope place. You need to be here more
Yeah.
often. So
Yeah.
go to the building and your
But
boy
first,
done.
you see, remember Rogue? At first, I was like, "How the hell Rogue? Wait, she must have passed out when she got there, or whatever, from
Oh yeah,
just going on a rampage."
also because remember, my bad. We also get Nightcrawler shows up in Mexico because I'm guessing just the rampage of the trail she left. They
Uh huh.
follow her back to Mexico, and
Uh huh.
Nightcrawler shows up and has this very warming scene with her, and she's
He's like,
actually,
"Sis." He's like, "Sis,
like, what the hell are you doing, yo? Like
what the hell
you
you
not.
doing, sis?" And she's like, "Yeah, you know." She said, "You should." She said, "You drew the short stick in the sister category because and people may be confused, but Nightcrawler is Mystique's son. He knows that, and she knows, and Mystique was Rogue's adoptive mother after her powers came in, and she became a mutant and stuff like that. And so that's how they refer to each other as brother and sister or whatever. So he's like, "Girl, you gotta let that anger and hate go, baby. Like we
Yeah,
get it and everything. You gotta grieve and but you gotta let that anger and hate go. And then she was like, "How can I? I feel like I'm alone." And then you see the other X-Men pop up, like, "Come on, there, bro."
Everybody was posing. You know what I'm
They were
saying? Like,
posing, and they did the little X-Men riff. And so then they get, like I said, they at Madripoor, and they get to the building they told, because Trask had told them, "I'll clear the building out." They walk up in there. Wolverine said, "I guess this is what he meant by clear it out." He used some type of nerve gas, a knockout gas for all the guards, everybody asleep. And then here goes the Morph. Morph said, "Diet soda's always available." Hits the button on the vending machine. Diet soda come out, and then a secret elevator pops open. And then you see all them cramped up in the elevator going to wherever they go. I think they went to the top.
they went to the top.
They're the very top level. And they walk in and they're looking around, and they like, because this was a U.S. government building apparently, or something like that. And they like,
yeah, it was like a UN. I think it was like a UN building.
United Nations. Yeah, they was like
consulate.
Consulate. Why does the UN have all this like Sentinel tech here? And then like Beast noticed something. He said, "This looks way more advanced than anything that we got out right now. Like, this almost futuristic."
He said this is centuries ahead of what we have.
Centuries ahead of anything that we got right here. And they're looking around, and then all of a sudden they see, good old Bolivar Trask. We got a jumper. he's standing on the daggone like ledge, and they like, and she's like, "Calm down, sugar. It's all right." And he basically goes on to be like, "Look here, man. I didn't want this to happen. I didn't. Like, this is ridiculous. I need my peace. Mr. Sinister is the most evil man I've ever met in my life." And that goes back to what Morph said too, when that name came up earlier in the season as well. And he's like, "I can't do this." And he jumps. Rogue catches him and holds him and said, "Nah, sugar, you want to redeem yourself. You gonna help us, do this." And he said something, and then Rogue was just like,
no, he was like, "You got any information about about what? About what he's talking about? I think about where was
Master Mole.
Yeah, about Master Mole and all that. Yeah,
Master Mole and
trying to figure out like how the Sinister and the Sinister. Yeah, but what Sinister says, he was like, "Bruh, I can't help you." She was like, "Oh, for real?
For real? Bet."
Turned around. I said, "Oh,
I just knew Nightcrawler was going to catch him and bring him back." They were like, let him fall to his death.
You hear him hit the car and the scream. And then the patented like 90s car alarm go off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I was like, "Oh, snap."
And then you see them all like X-Men looking like
horrified. What have we become?
What are you doing? And then you got Morph. Is this what we become? And Wolverine was like, "Hey, man, F that dude, he killed something." And then you saw Rogue. Bro, you saw Rogue just completely lose. She's like, he killed my man. He killed my man. This is that. And then, mind you, Nightcrawler had made reference earlier. He said, "Is it that he killed your man or he killed your men? Because both of your men or whatever." And she was like, he killed my Remy. And like, she's just going on a rant, and like, "I'm just sick of this. He deserved to die. How many people are dead because of him?" And like, everybody's just sitting there like, "Oh yeah, shit, we don't know what to say, man," or whatever. And then next thing you know, mutant detected. Bleed!
blew that whole floor up. You know what I'm saying?
The dust clear, and you see Trask is like a cyborg, is like a sentinel / human hybrid type thing going on. And he proceeds to wreck shop he took Rogue out in that one hit. And
yeah, he washed them, boy. He washed them.
Every time he hit an X-Men, neutralized. Mutant. That's the name of this episode. Should have been Mutant Neutralized. Because that's what
Mutant Neutralized.
He's like taking all these daggone cats out. Also, too, did you see how powerful Jean Grey has become?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure it won't just me.
No. She got way more stronger. Real quick,
Cause
was gonna lead us to like the end of this.
uh-huh.
Forgot to say back when back when Rogue was you know what I'm saying, making Captain America look like a little hoe. On the screens, it had this thing called it was like OZT on all
Right,
the
OZT.
screens.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, what does that mean? Of course, we know it means Operation Zero Tolerance, which like leads
Mm-hmm.
us back to the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Jean Grey is really strong, and she still got washed. You know what I'm saying? So
You see, she chucked the top half of that building. So let's just go and say maybe like 5, 6 floors of a top half of a building
like
and chucked it.
maybe like 3 miles
Yeah, like 3 miles
from the city to the water.
into the yeah, right, into the water. Listen, we know old Jean Grey. If she would have did that, she would have. She did that thing. It was still strong. I was like, and then you see her whole body was glowing. Like we've never seen Jean like OD. You know what I'm saying? OD like
Yo,
this or
like
whatever.
she was gonna mess around and bring back the daggone bring the Phoenix Force, or a piece of the Phoenix may still be in her. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right?
I
Yeah.
don't know, but yeah, but so
Mm-hmm.
they are getting washed
Uh-huh.
considerably. And then we have Cyclops. He about to die. I
Yeah.
mean, it's about to be no more Cyclops. And then all of a sudden, daggone Cable pops out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Throws this thing on him, was like, and he just like he fries out. It's like it's easy to use whatever this thing is I
It's
got
like
for the future.
almost like like an EMP, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like an
yeah,
EMP
yeah,
bomb or
yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Which is funny too, because
Right.
if you remember like late '90s, early 2000s, that was everybody's go-to thing in action movies was an EMP. But yeah, so I just like how they like keeping it like really '90s for real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Cable's like, hey, all right, Dad, I saved your life, so I need you to be cool about this. And
Right,
Cyclops
right.
is
He could
like,
remember, sound like Cable. What are you doing here? And then Jean Grey looked, and she like read his mind and was like, "Oh
Tony,
my,
Tony. He said,
you ain't my, you
not
ain't
my
my
mom.
mammy.
Not
You,
my
not my mom. You know what he was? He was Harpo and Color Purple. This here y'all new mammy. She ain't my mammy. She ain't my mammy. You ain't my mom. You ain't my mom or whatever. Yeah, and then Cyclops looked and said, Nate, he was like, yeah, all right, easy, Dad. He's like, relax on the reunion. We got some things we need to really talk about and discuss. And
Yeah.
then we get to the very end where Sinister is in this room and he's talking to this figure. We don't see this figure's face at all. And it's like, and it basically like, hey man, what are we doing here? This and that. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Basically, we
He
got this
said,
under
he's like, yo,
control.
y'all let him kill Trask. He said, no, we got some valuable data from that.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know how to tweak this thing even more. And then it
Mm-hmm.
kind of pans in a little more, and we see who it is. It is your boy Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't know, Bastion first made an appearance in X-Men back like 96 between the
Mm-hmm.
regular one and the Uncanny X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
This man basically was a US government agent,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had an anti-mutant strike force named Operation Zero Tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
So not only does he had his program in like the show, but he also knows that Charles Xavier is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he was able to manipulate this random alien satellite and got a
Mm-hmm.
transmission. And the
Mm-hmm.
transmission is from the coronation of him being like, like the what was the crap that decided he was gonna get?
He
He was
was
on
gonna
like a
he was
queen
gonna be emperor.
consort. Yeah,
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 he was gonna be the
emperor,
queen consort, emperor,
and like
emperor consort,
co-emperor. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
co-emperor
yeah.
of the
So he
Shia.
for the Shi'ar Empire. So he got
Mm-hmm.
that transmission. Was like, oh yeah, they've been lying. Basically, he about to expose the
And
X-Men.
Sinister was like, why would they lie? Like Sinister was even, why would they lie about this or whatever?
Like they've been pretty honest with me the whole time. So
Yeah,
like I don't understand these exploits.
right. And
Going
then,
speaking of exploits,
right.
we go to this like random old looking store. Your man
Mhm.
throws on a jukebox of this old like sock hop doo wop 50 song.
It was a sock.
And we see this figure. He basically throws a hot towel on your man, just like an old barbershop
Mm-hmm.
with a straight razor,
Mm-hmm.
like when Silly was about to shave Harper. You know what I'm saying? And
And
we
he cut.
lo and behold, it is one Magneto. Of
Mm-hmm.
Magneto is of course depowered. He got the the coupler on his neck,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, yeah, basically was shaving this man,
Mm-hmm.
which in retrospect was a very creepy thing to do. Like there was no
Yes, it
need.
was.
He had a
Because
little like he had some stubble. It's been a few days since he's been
yeah.
there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But shaving this man, basically telling you like, hey,
I
this is
like
what this
mine.
is.
I like mine freshly clean.
Yeah.
Also, do you know who is doing the voice of Bastion?
Yes.
This is a kind of a big name for an actor to do this role. Ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen, the voice of Bastion is none other than Theo James. And you might
Mm-hmm.
say, think like
And
Theo James.
and Theo
He is
James played in a series that I just saw not too long ago.
and what is that?
Oh man, I forgot the name of
The
it.
Divergent, the Divergency, because he was
Oh,
like
oh
one of
no,
the
no, no,
main.
no, 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 not that garbage. Not that garbage. Hold on. Let me put my notes.
Well, Theo James is one of the main actors in the Divergent series or whatever. He's the
He's also
four
the
in Divergent. Yeah.
he's also the main character in The Gentleman on Netflix. He is the brother that is in the military and has to go back home to bury his
Mm,
father.
okay.
And yeah, like I was surprised when I saw that. I was like, yo, the voice sounds a little familiar. And it was like,
And
oh
also
yes.
too, he just finished up on. He also did season 2 of The White Lotus on
Oh,
HBO as well. So
another show people
yeah,
love.
that's a
That's
pretty
a pretty big get just to do a
yeah.
voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
So
Like,
and that's how it ends. Him giving the creepy shave to Magneto. So that just just looking ahead, 3 episodes left in this series, and they're all under the. It's basically a three-parter.
yeah, all of them get
Tolerance
tolerance. Tolerance
is extension,
is extinction.
extinction. We go
Yeah,
back to that word again,
tolerance.
tolerance. So
And
yeah,
that goes back to the thing that that Gyrick told us at the beginning of the season. I mean, he was in jail when they went and saw him.
yes,
When
yes.
Cyclops and Jean Grey. Cyclops, yeah, went and saw him
Storm.
and
It
see
was Storm.
Cyclops and Storm went and saw him. So yeah, so now we have so supposedly the big bad, which still may not even be the big bad. Or
Mm-hmm.
seeing how this is going to be two, we already know, probably a third season. I feel like we're going to see Apocalypse, either
Yep.
because Apocalypse is going to be trying to run after Cable and like kind of get him out the way.
I think we're gonna get an Age of Apocalypse season. You're welcome, Rashad. Your mind was just.
Oh my god, that would be so tough. Oh my god, Sony. So okay, so we are like okay again. Maybe some spoilers if you don't read the comics or whatever. But with Bastion here, we get we get the potentiality of having another crazy villain, and that is Onslaught. Onslaught is essentially like the consciousness of Magneto
Magneto,
and
Charles
Charles
Xavier.
Xavier made into one being.
Mm-hmm.
And I,
OP.
yeah, so that's what I'm
OP.
saying. Like we could have they the way that they wove these storylines together.
Mm-hmm.
Usually this would fail and fall flat in his face every time.
Yeah.
But they figured out a way to really do it with a truncated time because these is like
Mm-hmm.
30, like today's episode was like 30 minutes. It's a long, I
Yeah.
think one of the longest episodes
Yeah.
this season. And they are really hitting all these marks. It's emotional and everything. Before you even say anything, I want to give a shout out to somebody who I didn't even know until today. Man, his name is JB Ballard. JB Ballard also helped write him and Charlie Filmer. Charlie Filmer wrote the last episode by himself.
Mm-hmm.
JB Ballard wrote this episode. No, him and Charlie Filmer wrote this together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we black, JB black as well. And
Mm-hmm.
if you figured out like the sermon, I'm I'm for sure JB wrote that because it just felt so black.
Black. Mm-hmm.
And we was joking around, we was like at the
Yeah.
beginning, but like, yo, we
Yeah.
like we know us. We can literally
Yeah.
hear us. Even if somebody trying
Yeah.
to fake and be us, we hear it. And
Yep.
shout out to JB Ballard, man. You wrote the hell out of that, yo.
Yeah. So going back to what you were just saying, and we're gonna wrap this up. So many things that they're setting up that could possibly happen. We could see an Age of Apocalypse. We could see Onslaught. It looks like we are going to see Emma Frost join the X-Men.
Yeah.
This diamond form Emma Frost does. Because it seems as if Sebastian Shaw is
No, he gone. He
he
gone.
gone or he gone or whatever. You could see where you get two X-Men schools. You could have the X-Men school, and then you have the Jean Grey school. It's another school that gets started. That's a branch off school, and there is a slight, not major, but a slight little civil war between the X-Men. You know, they're on there trying to find students
A little
for
little schism of sorts.
schism for this. So
Hey,
this
you know what else we could get, which
go
is
ahead.
kind of like we hinted towards earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We can get Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
we
saying?
could.
Like, because since this is the cartoon and a lot of characters are already introduced, we can
Mm-hmm.
easily just have everybody in the show.
The
Man.
only thing I don't think we could get, but I think that the MCU might be saving that for live action, possibly, is House of M. I think live action MCU is
Tony.
trying to
Like,
save.
I feel like we did. I mean, damn, House of M would be like 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we had a we did like a variation of it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
with Doctor
Yeah.
Multiverse of
Right.
Madness. But yo,
But what have I said about this show, Rashad? If we never get a live action MCU X-Men, but we keep getting this on this show,
mhm.
I'm satisfied.
Hey man, they've been doing a really good job, man.
Yeah.
Like, all right, man. That's I can't go no more.
I
That's
can't,
it,
man. So
Tony.
yeah,
Next three
by the way,
episodes, next
next
3 days, next Thursday, next 3 Wednesdays, man.
are gonna be lit.
It's
We got those 3
so
episodes.
so much.
Also, y'all check out we did the season finale for Shogun. We did our review on that. You know, it's safe to say that is me and Rashad's front runner for show of the year so far. We did a review of that. You can go back and check all that stuff. Check back the old X-Men stuff. Also, we are still doing um the Bad Batch
Next
next
week,
week.
series finale.
Series finale of the Bad Batch. Woo, don't know how they're gonna do this because it's some
Yeah,
things they got to be tied up.
so today's episode too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
today's episode was good, but we doing that in parts or whatever. So the finale for Bad Batch next week, you'll get that episode, and then after that, man, I mean, whatever comes our way. I think the next big thing that we're gonna get probably is Tales of the Empire. Maybe I think Tales of the Empire.
Tales of the Empire. Oh, we got a
the
movie.
fourth.
A movie coming out soon.
Yeah, which movie was
I
that?
forgot, man.
Yeah.
Something's coming out.
Yeah, movie coming out soon. And
on the apes.
Yes, Planet of the Apes, another movie that we are very, very interested in seeing. And then of course, we're gonna go back to our roots in 2 months, baby. We're
Devil
really less a month and
Wolverine.
a half. You know what I'm saying. House of Dragons.
That
So.
too. Oh yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so much stuff, guys. Like I just want y'all to understand so much
Yeah.
stuff. Make sure y'all stay connected with us on
Yeah.
all the things. TikTok
Subscribe.
until TikTok until they shut that thing down. IG, FB, if you're nasty, and YouTube, of course.
Yeah, man.
And oh yeah, all the people who will be up here on via whatever podcast platform. We appreciate you guys too.
Yeah, man, we do.
Yeah,
Like I've
showing
had
us
people
some
hit me
love
up.
because I be forgetting to upload the audio sometimes, and I apologize. But yeah, I've been up on this. So we got, man. Till the next time.
Did you do your episode yet?
Nah, I'm still contemplating it.
Okay, all right. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
Man, peace, man.